The 2024 race about to get a major shakeup with former Vice President Mike Pence, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, and North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, all expected to throw their hats into the ring next week.
OutKick host Bobby Burack joins us now to talk about all of this. And Bobby, it's already a crowded field. It's about to get even more so. How do you think all this plays out?
Yeah, first of all, I appreciate you guys having me. I mean, Carly, I think in theory, as always, when there's a prohibitive favorite in the race like President Donald Trump, the more names that enter the race, you have to think it will fragment the field. That's historically how it's worked. So if you're President Trump, I think this is a positive because the more people in the race, at least in theory, takes away from the non-Trump vote, particularly Governor Ron DeSantis, where I think the more people in the race, they have to fight for that vote that's non-Trump. I think the big question here is not as much who gets in the race, but how long do they last? We saw in 2020 when Joe Biden was running, once Pete Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar dropped out, they really cleared a way for Joe Biden. So the story to watch is how long do some of these new names that might receive 5, 4, 6% of the vote, how long do they stay in the race and take away support from DeSantis instead of clearing the way for it to become a two-man race between Governor DeSantis and former President Donald Trump?
That is a real interesting point. One other point that I find fascinating that I've heard bandied about in the media builds off of this. A recent poll showing former Vice President Mike Pence has a 46% approval among voters, while Chris Christie has just 21% approval. Another study said 70% of New Jersey Republicans won't vote for Chris Christie. Do you buy this notion that Christie is only doing this to be the attack dog against Trump, basically martyring himself to go out there and attack Trump so that somebody like DeSantis ends up getting the nomination?
Yeah, I think that's such a good point because, I mean, why else is he in the race, right? I mean, you can go through the scenario why certain people enter the race, maybe to increase their brand, maybe run for vice president, or a lot of times to play defense to somebody. And I think that makes a lot of sense. Why else is Christie in this race? Like you said, hardly anybody likes him, including people in his own state. So I think it's a very astute point that he's in this race to damage Donald Trump. Now, look, I don't know that Chris Christie's insertion into this will have much of an impact at all, but I do think you have to question why he's in this race because it's hard to really see any path of what else he gains from joining.
Ron DeSantis had some interesting comments in Iowa this week, took some shots at former President Trump. Listen here.
If you say Cuomo did a better job with COVID than Florida did, first of all, that's not what he used to say. This is like new. Like 6 months ago, he would have never said that, right? He used to say how great Florida was. Hell, his whole family moved to Florida under my governorship. Are you kidding me? Look, if someone is saying that, I am gonna counterpunch. I'm gonna fight back on it. I'm gonna focus my fire on Biden, and I think he should do the same. He gives Biden a free pass.
So his strategy is going to be, he says he's going to counterpunch Trump. If Trump's going to attack him, he's going to attack back, but he does want to focus on policy. How do you feel about that strategy?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's ideal for Governor DeSantis. I mean, because the bottom line is DeSantis has a positive story to tell. I mean, in a lot of ways, he became the avatar to the counter resistance to COVID control. I mean, if you go back to the early stages, few politicians were as out in front as early as DeSantis and ultimately was more correct. So the best strategy for him is to not necessarily take shots at Trump, but counter by sticking up for himself. I mean, crime in Florida is at a 50-year new low. Inflation is a positive story. COVID worked out very well for the governor, far better than Andrew Cuomo, that is, of New York. So there probably isn't a better strategy for DeSantis. Look, it's going to be an uphill battle. The polls say Donald Trump is a clear favorite. But if there's any way for DeSantis to mitigate that gap, it is to remind people during COVID when more people flocked to Florida than any other state because of his keeping the state open. And I think really prioritizing common sense over politics, which so many governors across the nation did not do.
Bobby, the number one comment / fear that I hear coming from so many Republican voters is they're worried that the infighting between the Republicans, between Trump and DeSantis specifically, is going to allow the worst polling president in history in Joe Biden to win a second term. Do you share those concerns?
Yeah. So as someone who works online and spends far more time on social media than I should, I mean, that is the sentiment you get from a lot of conservative pundits and writers and GOP advocates, is that this infighting really has just started. I mean, DeSantis didn't start fighting back until some few weeks ago, and it's already gotten so toxic and nasty. And you see so many people who used to be aligned now going after each other. I mean, there is no better scenario for Joe Biden, and despite all of what he's done in a negative way for this country, this infighting is the one scenario where I think he does prevail. And it's just starting, and it's already off to such a grotesque start. So I totally agree with you, Todd. I mean, again, we're only a few weeks in. Imagine where we're at in a couple of months when DeSantis and Trump really start to continue throwing blow after blow. I think it could get really nasty for the GOP. I mean, talk about a metaphorical civil war when you have the clear leader of the party in Donald Trump going up against someone who we thought maybe just 3-4 months ago was a successor for the face of the party.
OutKick host Bobby Burack, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Bobby.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.